Hey guys, if you're looking for help with your Amazon business in terms of troubleshooting or strategy, visit sellersessions.com/consultancy or drop me a message to danny@sellersessions.com. Hey guys, welcome back to Seller Sessions. Today I bring in Brian Johnson and Liz Adamson. How you doing, guys?
Doing well.
Excellent. Yeah. And we're near at the very end of Q4. Liz, you still got hair. Brian, like me, you've reduced hair, I suppose.
I shed down a long time ago.
Yeah. Mine's catching up, so don't you worry about that. I just thought we'd have an end of year wrap. We're going to have Sean joining us, but he couldn't unfortunately make it, so it's just going to be the three of us. But I'm thinking this year we've made so much progress in terms of what's happened in terms of sponsored ads and the advertising offerings through Amazon. I mean, not everyone's going to understand all the abbreviations, but I've got a list here: AAP, AMG, AMS, the closing of VE, which is Vendor Express. You've got PPC, you've got PDA, you've got HSA, and on and off DSP. There's so many different things. And AAP, Liz, has gone into what now?
It's now DSP.
And what
more acronyms.
And what does DSP stand for?
Display Side Platform.
There you go. So there's all of these different acronyms that we have to catch up with. And that's just, that's not just on agency side, like we all run agencies, but that's for the seller as well to stay on top of these things. So yeah. I just want today kind of get an idea of where you're seeing with what's happening with progress. And so now one of the main things obviously we're seeing is product display ads being moved into Seller Central. So I'd like to ask you guys, is AMS kind of been sent off as the poor child now? No one wants to pay attention to anymore, because it used to be, oh, let's be all in AMS because you've got these headline search ads, then product display, and now it's like, oh, we don't need you now. So is it like the scorned child that's been pushed into the corner, or are you guys still very much?
Yes and no. Yeah, I would say that there's still some targeting options and some advantages of AMS, but the problem is that because AMS is so bad when it comes to things like API and data feed and reporting and that kind of stuff, that Seller Central is much easier to use from a reporting standpoint. That I don't know that the few additional features that are available inside of AMS are really going to outweigh some of the convenience of Seller Central.
Yeah,
and we're having to work around those anyway because we work off of both platforms, and so we've got different technologies and different processes to pull the data and to optimize through each platform. But Seller Central, they keep on adding more and more into Seller Central that it becomes more of an opportunity out of focus and convenience than really having whether one is better than the other necessarily.
Yeah, I mean, it's because it's piecing everything together, isn't it? When it's all centralized in Seller Central, it makes it a lot easier, like in terms of payments, like you said, reporting. And I suppose it's a lot cleaner now. Product offerings moved over from AMS to Seller Central. Where will you use guys now? Are you doing a migration over of historic campaigns, or are you leaving them to run and patching those together?
We actually started migrating after headline search ads launched in Seller Central, and found that we weren't getting better results. And after some conversations with some people at Amazon, some Amazon advertising managers, and I'd be interested to hear if Brian or you have heard anything else from those same inside sources. The AMS platform actually has a larger inventory of ad space than the Seller Central platform, and it can be very advantageous to stay on AMS for that reason, right, even with the quirks and things that kind of come with that platform. And so we went back to, on one of our clients, we're very split, but still between Seller Central and AMS for that reason, and we've seen better success with their headline search ads on AMS for that. As for the product display ads, we're also hearing rumors that the product display ads as they exist on AMS will be going away completely and will be replaced by what we're seeing with the sponsored products, new targeting opportunities. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what will happen in the long run, if Amazon will eventually merge those two platforms completely into one platform, and there won't be AMS versus Seller Central, and it'll just be one standalone platform. So I'm kind of curious to see how Amazon continues to develop that platform, whether it'll continue to be two or actually just become one for everyone.
Yeah,
I think it introduces more questions than it really has answered for us. certainly for our side is that we have multiple accounts that are in both places. We're still very much heavy in AMS when it comes to the sponsored brand ads and the product display ads, of course. We haven't done that kind of migration yet over to Seller Central, but we do have accounts that are running a large number of campaigns in both locations. We still, it's more of a feeling, I guess, that it seems like the AMS side still gets better exposure and some better performance. But I think as Amazon starts rolling out more of the additional targeting, with the additional targeting with sponsored ads, sponsored product ads on Seller Central, if they add on anything additional. Certainly some of the changes they've made recently regarding sponsored brand ads in both locations. And then also, of course, the introduction of the remarketing display ads becoming more available. It's definitely, it's the siren call over to Seller Central just out of, accessibility and convenience. But we don't want to give up what's working in AMS, in the hopes that it'll work just as well in Seller Central. We're still a bit skeptical at this point.
Yeah, I mean that's quite painful trying to bring over historic long, when there's actually historic campaign data there that's going to have be advantageous than say starting from scratch, with no ad history and stuff.
That's the same reason why you would create, brand new campaigns on sponsored products in Seller Central from scratch, because you're basically retraining the algorithm, when you start over. You bring it over from a different platform, you're having to teach it again.
Yeah. So and we validated that as we tried to migrate and saw it did not perform, and whether it was, probably a combination of the algorithm and the inventory issues, but yeah, learn from our test. It didn't go as careful as we tried to be. It didn't pan out as well as we had hoped, and so we reverted back to just leaving it in AMS.
Cool. And what are you guys benchmarking now? Like a ratio between sell and click, how many impressions before a click before you dispose of that keyword or negate it? Where are you now with metrics? Let's start with sponsored ads.
From my standpoint, it depends on what the objective is that we're going after for a client. We have set goals that we were looking to achieve as far as sales and profitability for an account, and we set up our strategies and our individual tactics that contribute to those strategies. Yeah. And then we apply those to our target groups of products. We typically work kind of on a Pareto, methodology as far as where is our energy best focused currently. Yeah. And so, some of the metrics that we use as far as what qualifies a keyword or a campaign or a product to move on in the advertising and to be developed further or to be abandoned is primarily based off of what's the current objective. Are we trying to achieve profitability right now? Are we trying to grow sales? Yeah. Or is it a mix? So I guess I'd say on our side, it's kind of subjective on the objective.
Exactly. So if you've got a Madison Avenue brand, all they care about is, well, not all they care about, but a big thing that they care about is, look, we've got the budget, we want to raise awareness. So they're not going to be worried about, oh, look, that search term, had over 1,000 impressions. We'll just keep it rolling, or that's got 15, 16 clicks. It hasn't converted yet, but we'll keep it in there and we'll see how that progresses over a longer period of time.
Agree. That definitely is true among any of the national brands. That's definitely true.
Liz, is there anything like you send to Brian, or is there anything that you would compare to, just for the help for people that are not, say, managing their own accounts in-house and they're a little bit unsure? Because I think whenever I speak to, even when I do just consults outside of the agency, I find the biggest thing that people do is complicate PPC more than it needs to be. And when they look at their data, psychologically, they're not trusting their own intuition to make that move, so they sit there and they push all this data around and they say, like, what are you doing is, like, if you look through this, it's clear as day for you, negate that, take this out, take that out. But they don't want to do it because they're not sure if they're making the right decisions. And sometimes they just need a tap on the shoulder to say,
I mean, that comes with experience, though.
Exactly.
What calculated risks that you could make. I mean, that's obviously why we're on the agency side because
Exactly.
each of us have a lot of experience in this area.
Yeah.
So I think it's easier for us to do it because we know the expected outcome because we've made mistakes enough that we've learned how to correct it.
Yeah.
So for any individual seller, don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Yeah. So
and a lot of times we use like the sponsored product ads in order to for speculation for the prospecting, trying to find the target audience and what's working, and then we replicate that through deeper targeting, the new targeting options, and through sponsored brand ads. That's kind of where we just extend what we've learned from the sponsored product. The sponsored products is definitely where we spend most of our research and culling time. Is on the because the feedback is better. Frankly, you get the search term level.
Yeah. And how do you apply that? Would you say 80% or so of your sales are coming from the sponsored ad sides over the headline search and the product?
Yeah, I would say probably a good 70%. I mean, just kind of an arbitrary number. I would say it's probably 70% still come from sponsored product ads, and then probably another 25% would go over to sponsored brand ads.
Yeah.
And that's going to vary heavily on the type of product that it is too.
Yeah.
And how many different variations, how many different audiences that we can target and reach with sponsored brands. And then, we'll pick up and the remainder would be into like the product display type targeting.
Cool. Makes sense. And in terms of, obviously we've kind of covered this on the show before, but where are you guys with the new structure in the auto campaigns with the auto match types? How are you finding that?
Well,
chocolate ashtray or?
It's I mean, it's not like they added on new targeting. They simply just gave us insight into the new targeting. Yeah. When it comes to, things as far as like the close match, loose match kind of targeting. That's more just insight into what they were already doing within the automatic campaigns. We just didn't have the visibility on it.
Yeah.
We certainly are paying attention to it and learning from it, but it seems like it is evolving, like the algorithm or the competition is evolving on those. And so what we saw the first couple of months of rollout back in October is not the same kind of performance that we see today, for instance, on some of the automatic ads. The other thing that makes that a little bit more difficult, of course, is the lack of API support by Amazon. As far as making this available outside of Seller Central, so that we can automate it through software has been pretty limited and split up. And we're working with 2 different APIs now for the same data, just in order to make it all line up. And it's kind of a joke at the moment from the API standpoint. So at this point, we're having to do it manually through bulk operations.
That makes sense. Liz, do you want to add anything here?
Yeah, no, I'd echo Brian in that, that one thing it'll give us the opportunity to do with that increased visibility is to fine tune those bids depending on, which type or, targeting type is working best. But until that algorithm settles down and until Amazon, into some sort of rhythm, it's going to be difficult to really measure results and find the best tactics and strategies to use for that. So we'll just have to keep watching and reacting as Amazon continues to change and update.
Hey guys, that's it from us. Please rejoin us again in a few days' time.